just as a reminder of the Mevo 2.0 app and how to get into the graphics and overlays in that. It's here on the screen at the bottom, and then you go in to customize what you want to build. It will then upload what you've built to the SD card, and it re-uploads each time you make an adjustment to whatever you've built. So if you're changing the score as the score changes in a baseball game or a volleyball game, then you have re-uploads to the SD card over and over again, and it gives you overlays that have to then be dealt with over and over again, deleted because they're obsolete once the score changes. We also remember that in the Mevo 2.0 app, in order to do overlays, you had to have a Vimeo subscription. Folks, that has gone out the window, and I can't tell you how excited I am to be able to do graphics and overlays in the Mevo Multicam app and not have to have a subscription. They have done a great thing for their users by bringing this online. So let's look at the Multicam app itself and see where the graphics and overlays exists. At the bottom of the screen here, we can see the picture icon that brings up a place to add any graphics or overlays. If we press on the blue plus button, you can see that we can add an asset, and we'll choose graphics. Then we have the choice of full screen overlay, lower third, over the shoulder, or corner bug. If you do a full screen overlay, we'll start with that one. You can see that you can add your text. You can choose whether it's to have a background or to pull the background out, or some level of opacity. You can slide along and see what that's going to be. You can place the text properties in the top, center, or bottom, left, center, or right of the screen. So you actually get 9 choices of where that text is going to be. The great thing, though, about graphics, the overlays that we get in the Multicam app, is that we can add a background image, and the background image can be transparent. Now, I've already done one video on how to make transparent graphics in iOS, or in iPad OS, or in Mac OS. Any of the Apple OSs have a free download called Keynote. It's Apple's version of PowerPoint, basically. But it's really a very powerful graphics building tool in that after you have put your graphic in, you've pulled out any color you don't want. Say you find a graphic for a baseball like I did in the video that I created earlier, and you want to pull the background and just have the baseball as a transparent image. Then you can then save that. You can export that image as a no background PNG, so it shows up as an overlay in the Mevo Multicam app, and your text can go along with it, and you have the ability to customize your graphics with your overlays. Now, I'll show you an example of that in just a little bit, and it does take a little bit of trial and error because your text lines will only go in certain spots along the screen, and so you have to match what your overlay is going to be. So say you're going to build a scoreboard for across the top of the screen. Well, as you choose to put your text across the top of the screen, it's only going to be a certain spot at the top, left, middle, or right. So you have to do your overlays that will blend with your text in the right spot for it to fit. Say you're going to do a colored box to be around that text. And so it has to be down from the top just far enough to be able to fit inside or center inside that box if that's what you're looking for. And then to put the graphics that are more visual fluff, to be able to have your team logo or the baseball or a diamond or whatever it might be for that particular stream is gonna be an addition as either another transparent overlay graphic, or you can place it in with a bug in the left, middle, right, top, middle, bottom part of the screen. The built-in features that we're looking at here in the Multicam app, though, are where we're going to get the bulk of our text. So if I want to choose a lower third, that's the next option I have. It's just like choosing you have the ability to put this lower third then with a single line or 2 lines. You can add an image to the left-hand side of the text that you're putting in, and of course you can choose your background color, or you can choose not to have a background at all in this lower third detail. Then when you look at over the shoulder actually it doesn't have to be over the shoulder anymore. It can be over the shoulder in the center if you've put yourself off to one side of the screen, or it can be along the bottom, in the middle of the screen. However you want to configure that. The over the shoulder and the full screen text can be anywhere that you want it to be. And when you talk about over the shoulder, the box that goes with it, it can also be in the 9 spots of the screen. And then the corner bug is the last one, and that's going to let you pull up a pre-made graphic. You can throw a picture in there. You can, again, you want to use those PNGs. You can use a JPEG. It's just going to have whatever background in it that it has, so it's going to be a squared off picture that you throw up there. But the built-in graphics is the jumping off place, because that's where you're going to add the information you want. But then to make it look better, you want to be able to pre-build graphics that can enhance your stream. So the ability to take that video that I produced earlier about how to create transparent graphics in iOS is going to be a valuable tool to you. Look through that video and see what it takes to export those as transparent PNGs. If you don't have an iOS device, though, you also have the ability to do the same thing in Photoshop or GIMP, which is the open source version of similar to Photoshop, and it will allow you to export or to save without a background, with a transparent background. And then you want to save them to your camera roll. Anytime you want to do graphics or overlays in the Mevo Multicam app, for now, it is to be saved in the camera roll. Now, at some point, they may open up the ability to put it in your files. I like to have mine in my files because I can put them on my iCloud drive, and it can be on any of the devices that I stream from, and I have access to any of them if I want to go out and pull those back in. And whenever you add your asset, if you want those graphics to be in a certain spot, you need to plan ahead. If you want some to be at the top, you're going to need to upload them at the end, because they're going to show up at the top. It's going to order them from top to bottom in order of upload. So, thinking ahead a little bit there is going to be key if there are certain graphics you want access to at the top of that screen. And if you're talking about loading all of your options for base runners, say, as bugs, like we've done in the 2.0 app before in this particular video, if you're going to do that, you're going to have a lot of overlays in the screen that we're looking at here. And you just have to scroll through them. It's okay, it works. It works really quickly, and there's a flow. You get into it, and you kind of remember where each of those are. You put them in order, but you do have to think ahead just a little bit. Now, when you start to put something on the screen, if I were to throw this bug over in the corner here above me, you can see that tapping on that particular one makes it live. There's not 3 screens to check through. It's just live. You also get the ability to go ahead and go to the next one. You see I added an out there, and then you can just untap the other one, and so it's not behind it anymore. Every one that you tap on that has a red square around it, though, is sitting on top of the other ones. So you have to unselect the ones to get just the one that you want. So selecting and deselecting is a difference from 2.0 into Multicam, and it's a good difference. Now, if I were to do scoreboard like what you see on the screen now, it's just above me. I would need to make sure that I had my shot of the field, and this is obviously a baseball scoreboard that I've built here. You would need to have your camera set up so that you had a shot that had plenty of sky or plenty of above the field kind of shot there, so that this wasn't in the way of any of your players that would be on the field. Now, to change this particular scoreboard, all right, so we tap on the ellipsis there on the one we have. We want to edit that, and then that gives us the ability to change that text. So if the score has changed, I can tap into where I am and change that score. I can then click done, and it's just that fast. Much faster than it was in Mevo 2.0. Not uploading a whole nother graphic that has to then be selected, deleting the old one because they get so full. But that's the same graphic we chose. It is now, since we changed it though, moved to the top, so it's a little bit easier to get to. It does rearrange them like that, but as they're edited, they will change. The ones that we're just throwing up, onto the screen, they don't change in their order just because we used them. It's when we edit them that they change in the order of this screen that we choose our graphics and overlays. So let's go through the process of building a graphic, an overlay, so you can kind of see what it takes here. I'm going to tap on the blue plus. I'm going to choose a new graphic. I'm going to do a full screen overlay. Now on this full screen overlay, I'm going to make this transparent, so I'm going to pull all of my opacity out of it. It's going to be a transparent image. I'm going to choose to do a background image. Oh goodness, my camera roll is full of all kinds. These white ones are all the new bugs that I've made, which are going to be available at some point on my YouTube channel. Let's say we want to do, we'll try this one. All right, I'm going to resize that to full screen. We'll choose done. Okay. It's just that easy to get a transparent image onto your screen. I like to use this image in between innings. If I'm streaming early enough in a baseball game, I like to use it after our folks have taken infield pregame and the other team goes out to take pregame infield. I like to put this up. I don't really have any interest in showing the opposing team's infield, so I put this graphic up so that you can see what's going on behind it, but you know that this is a stream for Elkhart Baseball and that's what's coming up next. Getting it back off the screen is just as easy as tapping on the graphic again. So if I've used a graphic a one-time graphic and I don't necessarily need it anymore, I can always tap on the ellipsis and choose remove. It will give me the confirmation that I want to remove this graphic, and then it's gone. It reshuffles everything back up towards the top so that we're more efficient in choosing which graphics we have. Now the graphics and overlays are, at this point, limited to the built-in choices where you can add text and you can choose where things are going. It would not surprise me a bit to see the Mevo folks roll out the ability to do a video as a graphic, or even to do a side-by-side with Multicam. I don't know what's next. I don't have any kind of insider information, but I do know that they are, as rapidly as possible, rolling out the new features that will make Multicam continue to be the go-to source for live event streaming. This is a monumental leap forward in what we have with Multicam, in the ability to live stream. From 2.0 to Multicam is going to be, you will find that this is an incredible move forward. And I think as you get into Multicam, you're going to recognize just how powerful this new app really is.